What really happened behind this shocking decision? And why did the entire world suddenly fall silent when his name was revealed? Welcome to Jikook Lover, the channel where hidden truths, untold stories, and emotional moments about the world's biggest idols finally come to light. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comment right now, because what you're about to hear may completely change the way you see everything forever. No one expected this. No one was truly ready. And when the world finally discovered that Jungkook had been chosen by Calvin Klein, it wasn't just an announcement. It was a moment that raised one terrifying, emotional, and mysterious question. Why him? Why now? And what secret did they see that the rest of the world is only beginning to understand? Stay with us, because this story goes much deeper than anyone imagined. There was no warning, no dramatic countdown, no clear signal that something historic was quietly unfolding behind closed doors. The world continued as usual. Fans scrolled through their phones. Headlines came and went. The fashion industry moved forward, always searching, always calculating, always hunting for the next face that could capture not just attention, but emotion. But somewhere, far beyond what anyone could see, a decision was being made. A decision that would soon send shockwaves across continents. At first, no one noticed the signs. They were subtle, almost invisible. A shift in energy, a presence that felt heavier, stronger, more undeniable with each passing moment. It wasn't loud. It didn't need to be, because true power rarely announces itself. It simply arrives, and when it does, the world has no choice but to react. Then, suddenly it happened. Without warning, without preparation, and without giving anyone time to emotionally brace themselves, the truth emerged. Not as a rumor, not as speculation, but as undeniable reality. And for a brief moment, the world froze. Fans stared at their screens, unsure if what they were seeing was real. Their hearts raced. Their minds struggled to catch up. Because deep down, they knew this wasn't just another brand collaboration. This was something else. Something bigger. Something that meant more. Within seconds, social media erupted. Millions of voices collided at once. Questions flooded timelines. Emotions overflowed. Some people celebrated. Some people cried. Some people simply stared in silence, overwhelmed by what this moment represented. Because this wasn't just about fashion. It was about recognition. It was about influence. It was about power. For years, the industry had searched for faces that could represent confidence, youth, and global connection. Many had tried. Many had come close. But something was different this time. This time, it felt inevitable. Looking back, the signs had always been there. The way cameras seemed drawn to him without effort. The way audiences reacted, not just with admiration, but with emotional attachment. The way his presence alone could shift the atmosphere of an entire room without him saying a single word. There was something about him that could not be manufactured. Something raw, something real. And perhaps that was exactly what made this moment unavoidable. Because this wasn't just about what he wore. It was about what he represented. A new era, a new standard, a new definition of global influence. Industry insiders began asking questions. Analysts examined every detail. Fans revisited old moments, old videos, old performances, searching for clues they might have missed. And slowly, a realization began to form. This didn't happen overnight. This was years in the making. Years of silent growth. Years of emotional connection. Years of building something invisible, yet unbreakable. Something that numbers alone could never fully explain. Because this wasn't just popularity. This was impact. Real, emotional, global impact. But perhaps the most haunting question remained unanswered. Did they choose him because of who he is today? Or because of who they know he is about to become? Because some believe this decision wasn't simply recognition of his present. It was an investment in his future. A future that may be far bigger than anyone is prepared for. And if that's true, then this moment wasn't the peak. In the hours that followed, the reaction did not slow down. It intensified. What began as shock quickly transformed into something deeper, something more emotional, more personal. People weren't just reacting to a brand announcement. They were reacting to a realization that the world they thought they understood had quietly shifted while no one was looking. Because this wasn't just about Jungkook being seen. This was about him being recognized. And there is a difference. Recognition is not given lightly. It is earned through moments no one sees, through pressure no one understands, through silent battles fought far away from cameras, away from applause, away from validation. 4 years, he stood under lights that were often too bright, expectations that were often too heavy, and a global spotlight that never truly turned off. Every movement watched, every expression analyzed, every silence questioned, and yet he never stopped. There was something almost mysterious about the way his presence evolved over time. He didn't demand attention. Attention followed him. He didn't force relevance. Relevance found him. This is what made industry insiders uneasy, because true influence cannot be controlled. It cannot be scripted. It cannot be replaced. Some began to whisper that this decision by Calvin Klein was not simply strategic, but inevitable. That the brand did not create the moment. The moment created itself, and the brand simply chose not to ignore it. When the first images surfaced, something unexpected happened. People didn't just look. They paused. There was an emotional weight in the way he stood, in the way he faced the camera, in the quiet confidence that didn't need explanation. It wasn't loud masculinity. It wasn't exaggerated performance. It was something far more dangerous. Authenticity. And authenticity is rare, especially in an industry built on illusion. Fans began sharing their reactions, but their words often fell short. How do you explain the feeling of watching someone step fully into their power? How do you describe the moment when someone stops being seen as growing and starts being seen as arrived? Because this moment didn't feel like a beginning. It felt like a revelation, a confirmation of something fans had sensed long ago, but the world had only just begun to accept. Even those who had never followed him closely could not deny the shift. They could feel it. There was a gravity to his presence that transcended language, culture, and geography. He wasn't just representing himself anymore. He was representing possibility. The possibility that someone who began as a dream could become something undeniable. And perhaps that was the most unsettling part of all, because it forced the industry to confront a truth they could no longer avoid. The rules had changed. The old system, where brands chose the face and shaped the narrative, no longer held the same power. Now the audience decided. The emotional connection decided. The invisible bond between artist and world decided. And in this case, that bond was unbreakable. Behind closed doors, executives didn't just see a celebrity. They saw trust. They saw loyalty. They saw millions of people who didn't just admire him, but believed in him. Belief is stronger than fame. Belief creates movements. Belief creates moments like this. But there was something else. Something harder to define. Something even more powerful than numbers or loyalty. Timing. Because timing can transform a moment into history. And this timing felt almost too perfect. It was as if everything, the years of growth, the silent struggles, the emotional connection with fans, the evolution of his identity, had been leading to this exact point. This exact decision. This exact revelation.